number 5 was in. That will allow him to play a few shots because that has been his game. He has been a finisher. Angelo Matthews, who would come in for the last 5 or 6 overs and play those big shots.
4. Placement.
And it's the right batsman to be facing Wim Maktoum, because the ball will be turning in, and if it doesn't turn in, it offers width through the offside. Yeah, he's so strong offside. Kusal Pereira hasn't been amongst the runs. Today might just be the day where he comes big for his team. He is a fine player.
Yeah, you mentioned that form. 8, 20, 0, 5, 2. He's too good a player to keep failing. And what it does require is that lining up to try and find a boundary. Yes, boundary is the optimum. That's what you want. But if it's not there, can I knock it away and get a single, or maybe find a gap and get a 2?
And when you get a boundary in the first 3 deliveries, it's very easy for you to turn the strike over and get close to 10 runs per over in the over. So, still depth in this Colombo Stars team.
Straight up in the air again. This will take some catching. Spilled it.
How vital will that be? He did well to run back, but it's not an easy catch. Falling over your shoulder. Lewis wasn't quick enough at mid-off. Dhananjay De Silva going for that slog sweep.
Yeah, and again, hitting across the turn for the 2nd time. That should be a lesson for these two at the crease and for the others to come. Maybe being enticed by the short square boundary.
That's better. That's better, using the depth of the crease.
Starting to enjoy himself. He's been missed once, and now playing it with very soft hands, playing it late, behind point, waiting for the ball, and then, yeah, running it behind point. Great skill by Dhananjay De Silva.
And smarts as well. Played through the offside, focus on hitting with the turn. It's a slow surface, there's a little bit of grip, a little bit of extra bounce. As you saw with that chance, he was hitting under the bounce. Nice shot of the moon. A wonderful Friday night here in Colombo.
Pushed back, 3 gone. An expensive over, 12 from it, 23 for 1. Got a little start here, a little start in the context of the game. We talk about the surface. 23 for 1 of 3 is a good start. In the previous game, both teams, nearly half the amount of balls they faced were dots. One of these teams will not have the opportunity to win that. One of them will be finishing their tournament tonight. So there is pressure, heaps of it. Shiraz Ahmed from the UAE has bowled well, an economy of just over 7. That's useful.
Spoke about the importance of this game for both sides. It's a straight case of win and go through to the playoffs. Must admit, at the toss, both captains were quite relaxed. That's a chance, going a begging. Shiraz Ahmed will want to make amends. Popped up and then floored.
No, I just felt he got his hands up a little late. That'll be a wide when you don't need those.
You spoke about how important this game is, and it's a perfect finish to this first round. But this is a must-win game for either of them. It will take them into that qualifiers or the eliminators. So the last year, if you look at the last year's LPL, they had an absolutely fantastic start where the first game went into the super over that set the tone, excited people. There was so much of interest.
Rushed him.
Roshan, are you implying that we might get a super over? If one of them flies like the Red Bull, surely there won't be a super over. There will be a clear winner, as we expect, unless Roshan wants to do overtime.
That's not what I meant. What I meant was it's good to have games that are important to the league, important to the teams, because you might have a situation where games might be meaningless.
Well, this is not. And that is spanked away for 4.
That's why they rate this guy so highly. Kusal Pereira loves pace on. He will dart on this any day. Short, stood up, just smacked through the mid-wicket region.
You know, you speak about matchups. Oh, is that Joaquin Phoenix, or is it Jack Nicholson, or is it Heath Ledger? Which one's playing the Joker this evening? And again, this time, all the way.
Just don't bowl at that pace. It's far too short. And that's friendly for Kusal Pereira, who loves pace. He might struggle against spin, but not against pace, and particularly at the top with the field restrictions on.
Darren, you've spoken about matchups over the course of this tournament. Kusal Pereira has only faced 6 deliveries all tournament from pace. He's been dismissed 4 times in 31 deliveries from spin. Have they got this matchup correct?
The longer he stays, it will put pressure on Angelo Pereira and his bowling options. Exactly what we've been talking about. He hasn't really fired in the tournament. Highest score previous to this, 20 against the Dambulla Giants. That was quite early in the tournament. Is he finding form at the right time for the Stars?
Well, he will if he keeps whacking it in at him. Pace taken off and away. There's no third man. It's a huge over. 17 from it. 40 for 1.
Best score in the tournament. It's looking ominous for the Kandy Warriors. Kusal Pereira, he struggled. Never looked fluent throughout this second edition of the Lanka Premier League, but today he's looked different. He's been given the pace that he loves to have, and he's enjoyed it.
Most companies like to see their profit go in that direction. The Stars, 40 for 1. 10 and over. I don't think we touched 10 and over at all in the previous encounter. Big over, 4 through square leg, 6 over mid-wicket, and then 1 over third man. Now spin comes back on. Mindo Mendes. Now here's going to be a discussion. Left arm spin to the right-hander. What do you make of this? We've seen 2 ambidextrous bowlers bowl the ball away from the right-handers. It's the final ball of the previous over, just squirting over a vacant third man. An inside edge. They'll bring two. So Darren, we see left arm spinners bowling to the right-handers and then off spinners bowling to the left-handers.
Yeah, we've mentioned that there should be a little more parity in how they use, not only to take the ball away from batsmen. I can understand why he's turning the ball away from Dhananjaya De Silva, because he'll be hitting to the short square boundary if he goes off break to him. So take the ball away, invite him to hit across the line.
It was a big shot. It didn't look right, but it was a confident shot. Just a little discussion. No. Not even entertaining it, just organising his field.
Again, the ball that arms into the right-hander, always a difficult delivery to negotiate. Looked like there was no bat on it. Would have been a good review. But the opportunity wasn't reviewed by Angelo Pereira.
There's the off spin now to the left-hander. And he's now going to look to go towards the short side.
I think we have two off spinners in the side. We were talking about a solitary one. He could bowl off spin too, ambidextrous.
Rather him bowl turning into Kusal Pereira. And this is where I think Dhananjaya De Silva has got his approach all mixed up. He's not really a power player. He has to play to his strengths. He's losing his shape, searching for power. Bottom hand coming off the bat. Not exactly what's required from him in this Colombo Stars team.
He's just looped that over mid-on and that'll go for 4. He's leading a charmed life, but it's coming off. 5 gone, 48 for 1.
Feel the spark again in our powerful hybrids. Toyota, let's go places.
That's why this game is so important. Jaffna Kings or Gladiators, Dambulla Giants already through to the playoffs. The winner of this game will join them. Big LBW shout in the previous over. Mindy Mendes to Dhananjaya De Silva, who's given us runs this. Very close. Umpire's call, just clipping the leg stump, but given not out by the standing umpire, so wouldn't have been overturned. But Ahmed, it's been a really entertaining start to this innings. It looks like Colombo want to fight fire with fire here.
Yeah, both these batters, they are setting the tone of the game in the favor of their side. Yeah, usage of the feet. That's the right thing to do. We didn't see any batter using feet in the previous game. You know, if you want to throw the bowler off their dangerous line and length, that's what you have to do as batter. Use your feet. Bowling change. Al-Amin Hussain from Bangladesh. He's been entrusted by the captain to bowl the last over of the power play.
The last over we've seen went for 17 from Shiraz, same end. Kusal Pereira likes pace on the ball. What can they get from this last over?
Change of tactics. It is evident that Angelo Matthews is going to be the finisher that the Colombo Stars have been craving for. The biggest question is how fit he is to run around. That's where the Colombo Stars would be a bit worried about. But saying Kusal Pereira, man out of form for a little while, but important game comes, a crunch game comes, the experienceness, the ability to take off any bowler. I just felt tactically the Colombo Stars have got a very good decision done, but just worried about Angelo Matthews running around.
very pretty. Delicate. Just using the length of that occasion, waited on the delivery. Covered the line and then opening the face of the bat to get that placement.
You said it there, Amir. Waited on the delivery. 122 Ks. It's a really nice shot, that. 50 up for the Stars. And the power plays have been their problem because they've been losing wickets at the moment. Crucially, have only lost just one and are scoring quickly, almost 10 and over. It's another nice shot from Dhananjaya de Silva. He's guided that into the gap, used the pace.
Is that the right length, Maha? Is that the right length?
When you slow the pitcher, you got to pitch it up. This is not the length. This is not the length. Even the previous delivery, have been really critical. The slow ball got to be much more fuller. The class of Dhananjaya de Silva, who loves to play in the back foot, will thrive on these lengths. I just feel Al-Ahmed Hussain hasn't started well, especially the line's been well, but the length's got to be much more fuller than that.
Much better delivery. Could have a bit of movement in the air as well. Yeah, that's what we have seen with Dhananjaya. Just staying on the leg stump, looking for the room outside the off stump. He's been creating his own lines and lengths. Dhananjaya, up again. All-rounder from yesteryears. Off spinner and left-handed batsman.
Well, this is already Colombo's best power play. 58 for one ball to go. Dhananjaya striking at 165, Kusal Pereira 171. From Dhananjaya's point of view, when he's not trying to overhit the ball, and he's just played proper cricket shots, he's looked a lot more comfortable, a lot better.
Straight away, look at the last two deliveries. Fuller length, batsmen are not comfortable as they were when they were shorter. That's where I think the Kandy Warriors got to be much more fuller.
Might think of two here. Yeah. That Betty made the outer inner ring rather, and they came back for two. So it's a good power play. 60 for one. And it's going to be a strategic timeout called by Lyndon Hannibal. 10 and over so far for the Colombo Stars. Kusal Pereira 26 off 15, Dhananjaya 33 off 20. Power to come to Tom Banton, Angelo Matthews, Sikuge Prasanna, Dinesh Chandimal, all itching to get out there. Here's Sachindu Colombage back in the side, one of the key spinners in this Kandy Warriors squad. And there's spin for him.
And plenty of grip. Yeah, both these batsmen, they have to be wary of the fact that this young man in the picture, Colombo, has the knack of picking up wickets with ordinary deliveries.
It's not a bad knack to have. We've seen that a few times. Long hops getting pulled straight to man. That's bad fielding. Bad throw initially, and then Colombage couldn't gather. There was an overthrow.
Sloppy, to say the least. Asela Gunratna to initially. And then the backing up fielder looks like Ravi Bopara. Not a good throw. That's not a directed neither to the bowler, Ravi Bopara. It's found one.
This ball good length so far in this over. 3 deliveries and press the ball up. Giving himself, looks a different player, Kusal Pereira, doesn't he? His shoulders more relaxed. A firm grip on the bat. That's what happens to you as a batsman when you start to play a stroke like these.
When he's in form, we all know how brutal he could be. And Sachindu Colombage have done this mistake over and over again, especially against left-handers. Trying to bowl quicker, more of the time. Good over for the Stars. Sachindu Colombage put under pressure.